In modern history, there are moments when seemingly invincible powers are brought to their knees by underestimated adversaries. The Russo-Japanese War of 1904 was one such moment, marking the first time an Asian nation defeated a European empire. But what if today, Japan and Russia were to face off once again? With Russia entangled in Ukraine and Japan quietly modernizing its self-defense forces, this question has never been more relevant. What factors would shape the outcome? And could history repeat itself? Let's dive deeper to uncover the answers in this video. Then please give your answer in the comments section. The historical relationship between Russia and Japan spans more than 150 years, marked by periods of intense conflict and cautious cooperation. Their geographical proximity as distant neighbors has significantly influenced their diplomatic and military interactions throughout history. The Russo-Japanese War of 1904 to 1905 arose from the imperial ambitions of Japan and Russia, as both sought to assert dominance over Manchuria and Korea. Russia's expansionist policies in the Far East, marked by the establishment of Vladivostok in 1860, set the stage for mounting tensions. The conflict reached a boiling point on February 8, 1904, when Japanese forces launched a surprise attack on Port Arthur, initiating hostilities. The war featured several critical moments that shifted the balance of power. One of the earliest and most pivotal events was the fall of Port Arthur in January 1905, which deprived Russia of a key strategic stronghold. This was followed by the Battle of Mukden in March 1905, one of the largest land battles of the conflict, and the decisive naval engagement at the Battle of Tsushima in May 1905, where the Japanese Navy secured a stunning victory by annihilating the Russian Baltic Fleet. The war concluded with the Treaty of Portsmouth, mediated by U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt. Under the terms of the treaty, Japan emerged as a dominant power in the region, gaining control of the Liaodong Peninsula and the southern half of Sakhalin Island. Decades later, during the 1930s, tensions between Japan and the Soviet Union reignited along their shared borders, resulting in a series of violent confrontations. Among these, the Battle of Lake Khasan in July-August 1938 and the Battle of Khalkhin Gol from May to September 1939 were particularly significant. These engagements saw the deployment of substantial military forces, with the Battle of Khalkhin Gol alone involving over 100,000 troops and 1,000 tanks and aircraft, resulting in a staggering 30,000 to 50,000 casualties. Ultimately, these costly skirmishes led to the signing of the Soviet-Japanese Neutrality Pact in April 1941, temporarily easing hostilities between the two powers. The post-war period introduced a range of new challenges and complexities to the relationship between Russia and Japan. Despite these difficulties, the 2010s saw efforts by Japan, under the leadership of Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, to foster closer ties with Russia. This relationship was shaped by several key factors, including economic cooperation initiatives aimed at mutual development, ongoing territorial disputes over the Kuril Islands, and shared strategic concerns regarding the growing influence of China in the region. Currently, Japan's stance toward Russia has shifted significantly following Russia's actions in Ukraine. Additionally, economic interests, once a driver of cooperation, have diminished as Japan explores options to reduce its dependence on Russian energy imports. The territorial dispute over the Kuril Islands remains unresolved, with Russia maintaining control of the archipelago since World War II. Presently, the opportunity for a diplomatic solution appears remote, especially given the current geopolitical tensions. Modern military capabilities between Russia and Japan present a stark contrast in force structure, technology, and strategic doctrine. Russia maintains a formidable military force with approximately 550,000 active duty soldiers, including 100,000 conscripts. The Russian military has undergone significant changes in 2023, expanding from 360,000 to 470,000 troops in Ukraine alone. Their arsenal includes 339 intercontinental ballistic missiles, 1,800 main battle tanks, and more than 4,058 pieces of artillery. Japan's self-defense forces function within a distinctive framework shaped by the country's post-World War II constitution, which emphasizes defensive operations rather than traditional military aggression. This framework is reinforced by a strong alliance with the United States, a partnership that has become a cornerstone of Japan's national security strategy. A significant component of this alliance is the presence of approximately 55,000 US troops stationed across Japan, which provides a tangible demonstration of the security pact between the two nations. These troops have exclusive access to over 80 military bases and facilities strategically located throughout the country, enabling rapid response to potential threats in the Asia-Pacific region. The Japan Self-Defense Forces itself is a highly modernized and capable force, supported by advanced technological infrastructure and extensive cooperation with US forces. Its air defense systems are among the most sophisticated in the world, designed to counter threats ranging from missile attacks to hostile aircraft. The Japanese Navy plays a vital role in regional security through its robust maritime patrol capabilities, which are essential for monitoring key waterways and deterring potential incursions. In addition, the Japan Self-Defense Forces operates integrated command and control networks that ensure seamless coordination across its land, air, and naval branches, enhancing its ability to respond effectively to a wide range of contingencies. The technological capabilities of Japan and Russia highlight their differing military philosophies and strategic priorities. Russia's arsenal demonstrates its emphasis on traditional land and air dominance, with significant investments in heavy weaponry and mobile units. Its artillery force includes 4,280 pieces, approximately 20% of which are self-propelled, providing flexibility and mobility on the battlefield. The Russian tank fleet boasts 2,060 operational units, reflecting a focus on ground warfare capabilities. Additionally, its air power is formidable, featuring 310 fast jets and 290 helicopters, underscoring its commitment to maintaining aerial superiority and close air support for ground forces. Moreover, Russia has increased its military production, now delivering approximately 1,500 tanks and 3,000 armored fighting vehicles annually. Accordingly, about 80% of these vehicles are refurbished from existing stocks rather than new production. In contrast, Japan focuses on quality over quantity, equipped with a mix of imported and domestically produced equipment. Overall, Japan's defense modernization has accelerated, with the government pledging to raise military spending to 2% of GDP. The Japanese forces are namely acquiring new capabilities, including long-range strike options and enhanced missile defense systems. Russia maintains the world's largest stockpile of nuclear weapons, with 6,090 warheads in total. On the other hand, Japan, despite its technological prowess, adheres to its non-nuclear principles, but compensates through advanced conventional capabilities and its alliance with the United States. The strategic landscape between Russia and Japan reveals complex advantages and disadvantages shaped by geography, military experience, and logistical capabilities. The unresolved dispute over the Kuril Islands continues to be a significant point of tension between Russia and Japan, shaping their strategic calculations and bilateral relations. These islands, which lie between the Sea of Okhotsk and the Pacific Ocean, are currently under Russian control, a status that Tokyo has consistently contested. The strategic value of the Kurils is undeniable, as they serve as both a defensive buffer for Russia and a potential access point to vital maritime routes for Japan. In 2011, Russia solidified its grip on the islands by deploying advanced military assets, including state-of-the-art weapon systems. This included the installation of anti-air missile batteries designed to defend against aerial threats, and bastion coastal defense systems capable of targeting enemy naval vessels over significant distances. These measures underscore Moscow's determination to maintain its hold on the region while enhancing its ability to project power in the Pacific. The geographic features of each nation offer unique advantages that influence their strategic outlooks. Russia benefits from its vast territorial depth, which provides significant resources, logistical advantages, and a consolidated mainland position that enhances its defensive posture. On the other hand, Japan's geography presents a contrasting set of strengths. Its strategic location as an island nation, extending 3,000 kilometers in a northeast-southwest axis, offers control over key maritime choke points and facilitates access to major shipping lanes. This configuration also enables Japan to maintain a distributed defense strategy across its extensive island chain, adding layers of complexity to any potential conflict scenario. Together, these geographic and military factors create a complex and dynamic balance of power between the two nations in the region. The contrast in military training approaches, reflects each nation's strategic priorities. Russia employs a mixed system of conscription and professional soldiers, with mandatory service from ages 18 to 27. As opposed to this, Japan maintains an all-volunteer force with service age limits of 53 for senior enlisted personnel and 62 for officers. Recent combat experience has exposed significant challenges in Russian military operations. Therefore, failures in Russian logistics and maintenance systems have been identified as key factors in their underperformance in Ukraine. Although Japan lacks recent combat experience, it has focused intensively on defensive capabilities and joint operations with US forces. The logistical capabilities of Russia and Japan highlight both strengths and weaknesses in their respective approaches to sustaining military operations. Russia's logistical infrastructure is heavily reliant on its extensive rail network, which provides critical support for transporting troops and equipment across its vast territory. However, this reliance can become a vulnerability in regions lacking rail access or where infrastructure is underdeveloped. Russia's supply chain also faces challenges related to resource inefficiency, which can hinder its ability to maintain consistent and reliable provisioning during prolonged conflicts. While the nation possesses extensive experience in forward deployment, past conflicts have exposed vulnerabilities, particularly in maintaining supply lines in contested areas. In contrast, Japan's logistics reflect a more modernized yet equally complex system. Its transportation capabilities are characterized by limited organic transport capacity, requiring careful coordination to move resources efficiently. Japan's supply chain is advanced, leveraging cutting-edge technology and streamlined processes, but it remains partially dependent on support from allied nations, particularly the United States, for certain critical resources and logistical needs. Additionally, while Japan is actively developing its rapid deployment capabilities, its experience in large-scale forward deployment is less extensive compared to Russia. Russia's logistics system, simultaneously vast and elaborate, has demonstrated fundamental flaws in operational design. In addition to these challenges, large-scale ground operations by Russian forces continue to present vulnerabilities to long-range strikes due to their reliance on rail for high-bandwidth resupply. Japan, though facing limitations in organic transport capacity, has been actively addressing these constraints. The Japan Ground Self-Defense Force has been undergoing dramatic restructuring to strengthen its remote island defense capabilities. Furthermore, Japan is developing new small transport vessel units to complement the functions of its maritime forces. Both nations face distinct logistical challenges in projecting power across their respective spheres of influence. Russia's traditional strength in rail-based logistics contrasts with Japan's focus on maritime and air mobility. Supported by its alliance with the United States, naval warfare capabilities between Russia and Japan reflect their distinct maritime strategies and force structures. At this point, Russia commands one of the world's largest submarine fleets with 64 vessels, analogous to its historical emphasis on undersea warfare. The strategic waterways surrounding Japan remain critical for both nations. The first thing to remember: Japan's maritime self-defense force operates through 2 flotillas divided into 5 squadrons. The force structure focuses on anti-submarine warfare capabilities, maritime patrol operations, and strait control and defense. Recent joint Russian-Chinese naval exercises in the Sea of Japan have certainly intensified regional maritime dynamics. In essence, these exercises demonstrate growing cooperation between Russia and China in challenging Japan's maritime interests. The submarine capabilities of Russia and Japan differ significantly, reflecting their unique military priorities and technological approaches. Russia boasts a sizable submarine fleet, comprising 64 vessels, many of which are nuclear-powered. This nuclear propulsion capability allows Russian submarines to operate for extended periods without surfacing, granting them a significant strategic advantage in long-range and stealth operations. However, Russia's use of air-independent propulsion technology remains limited, with only a small portion of its fleet equipped with this advanced feature. In contrast, Japan operates a smaller but highly modernized submarine force, consisting of 22 vessels. While Japan does not utilize nuclear-powered submarines, it compensates with a strong focus on AIP technology, with 12 of its submarines equipped with this capability. AIP systems enable quieter and more efficient underwater operations compared to conventional diesel-electric models, enhancing Japan's ability to patrol its maritime territories discreetly. Russia's submarine force includes 16 nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines, even more emphasizing its strategic deterrent capabilities. The Russian Navy has embarked on extensive modernization projects, including the development of Project 885M Yasen-class submarines. Japan's submarine fleet, in comparison, consists of 9 Oyashio-class, 12 Soryu-class, and 3 Taige-class vessels. The newest Taige-class submarines employ advanced lithium-ion batteries, increasing their speed, range, and underwater endurance. The disparity in carrier capabilities reflects different maritime philosophies. Japan's maritime self-defense force operates what it terms helicopter destroyers, with the Izumo-class vessels capable of supporting F-35B operations. These ships, at 248 meters in length, provide Japan with significant maritime projection capabilities. A recent milestone occurred in November 2023, as Russia's most advanced submarine was spotted for the first time in waters near Japan. The Yasen-class nuclear-powered submarine, accompanied by a flotilla including a Yudaloy-class frigate, passed through the Soya Strait. This development underscores the evolving nature of naval competition between these powers. The maritime balance is further influenced by Japan's strategic partnership with the United States. The Japanese Navy focuses on defensive operations and strait control, with particular emphasis on anti-submarine warfare capabilities. Sooner or later, the effectiveness of these capabilities may be tested, as Russian submarine activity has intensified, with both frequency and duration of patrols increasing over the past 3 years. The aerial dimension of military power between Japan and Russia showcases distinct approaches to air superiority and defense. Recent developments in both nations' air forces reflect their evolving strategic priorities and technological capabilities. The Japan Air Self-Defense Force operates 28 radar sites and early warning aircraft to monitor the nation's airspace. Specifically, Japan has demonstrated its air response capabilities by deploying F-15 and F-35 fighter jets against Russian incursions. A notable incident occurred in September 2024 as Russian Tu-142 reconnaissance planes circled Japan, prompting immediate defensive responses. Japan's Air Force maintains a high operational tempo, as demonstrated by the frequent scrambling of jets, with nearly 669 intercepts conducted between April 2023 and March 2024. This intense activity underscores Japan's vigilance in monitoring and securing its airspace. The Air Force relies heavily on advanced fighter aircraft, including F-15s and F-35, to respond swiftly to potential threats. Continuous radar surveillance forms the backbone of these operations, enabling the early detection of unauthorized airspace intrusions. Additionally, Japan employs rapid response protocols to address airspace violations effectively, ensuring a robust and immediate defensive posture. Russia's air defense systems are characterized by their advanced and multi-layered nature, designed to offer comprehensive coverage across various domains of airspace. The backbone of this defense network is formed by a combination of ground-based and aerial sensors that work in tandem to create a formidable barrier against potential aerial threats. One of the most critical components of Russia's air defense is the S-400 Triumph, a long-range missile system capable of targeting a wide range of airborne threats at great distances. In addition, Russia has the S-300V, which plays a vital role in strategic missile defense, enhancing the country's ability to protect critical assets from both conventional and unconventional missile attacks. For more localized defense, Russia employs medium-range systems such as the SA-17, which provide robust coverage over a wide area, while point defense systems like the SA-15 and SA-22 ensure close-range protection for high-value targets, such as military installations and command centers. In contrast, Japan has adopted a slightly different approach to air defense, one that is less focused on the extensive missile defense networks seen in Russia, but still highly effective in its own right. Japan's strategy centers around a holistic defense model, which includes the development of advanced technologies to address modern aerial threats. A notable example of this is Japan's decision to approve a substantial budget of $41 billion for the development of electronic warfare-equipped aircraft, slated for deployment between 2024 and 2032. This investment underscores Japan's commitment to enhancing its ability to neutralize hostile air operations through advanced jamming and signal disruption capabilities. By investing in cutting-edge technology, Japan is positioning itself to maintain a dynamic and adaptable air defense strategy, complementing its existing defense systems and ensuring continued security in an increasingly complex security environment. The electromagnetic spectrum has emerged as a crucial component of modern warfare, playing a central role in shaping military strategies. Japan has made significant strides in enhancing its electronic warfare capabilities to effectively counter emerging threats. The country's defense ministry has developed a range of advanced technologies designed to disrupt enemy communications and electronics. Among these innovations are standoff jammer aircraft, which are capable of interfering with radio waves from a distance, thereby denying adversaries the use of critical communication networks. Additionally, Japan has worked on non-nuclear electromagnetic pulse weapons, which have the potential to incapacitate enemy electronics without causing physical destruction. The country has also invested in high-energy laser systems, which can target and disable threats with precision, and high-power microwave weapons, designed to disable enemy systems through intense bursts of electromagnetic energy. Otherwise, Russia maintains extensive electronic warfare, symbolized as EW capabilities, demonstrated effectively in various operations. Russian EW systems include the Krasuka complex, targeting low-Earth orbit satellites and airborne radars, and the Moscow 1 complex for passive electronic reconnaissance. The Japanese self-defense forces have recognized their position relative to competitors, with a senior GSDF official acknowledging that Japan is lagging far behind China and Russia in building up electronic warfare capability. In response, Japan has initiated procurement of F-35A/B fighters equipped with EW systems and plans to add EW equipment to existing F-15 fighters. The economic warfare capabilities of Japan and Russia reveal the intricate balance of trade dependencies and financial influence that shape modern conflicts. Following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the economic ties between the two countries have experienced a significant downturn, reshaping their trade dynamics. By 2023, Japan's total trade with Russia had plummeted to just $10 billion. This reduction is evident across several key sectors, with a 67.1% drop in Russian coal import, a 44.9% decline in car exports to Russia, and a 32.5% decrease in the export of Japanese spare parts. Despite this, some Japanese businesses that were operating in Russia before 2022 chose to continue their operations, with approximately 35% of them maintaining their presence without significant changes. The trade relationship, which had primarily centered around energy resources and transport vehicles, still accounted for over 69% of the total trade turnover before the conflict. Energy security has become a critical issue for Japan, which faces substantial challenges due to its heavy reliance on imports for its energy needs. Currently, about 90% of Japan's total energy supply is imported, making the country vulnerable to external disruptions. In response to these challenges, Japan has enacted several strategic measures to secure its energy future. These include maintaining strategic oil stocks that can cover 217 days of net imports, supporting liquefied natural gas projects through partnerships with multiple countries, and enforcing mandatory energy efficiency targets for corporations. The ongoing Russian invasion has only heightened Japan's concerns over its energy security, prompting a reassessment of its energy partnerships. Before the conflict, Japanese companies held significant stakes in Russian energy projects, particularly in the Sakhalin-2 oil and gas development, but these investments have now come under scrutiny as Japan navigates its energy strategy amid geopolitical tensions. The financial ramifications of a potential conflict between Japan and Russia reach far beyond their bilateral relationship, affecting the broader global financial system in significant ways. One of the most immediate effects has been market volatility, with commodity prices experiencing substantial fluctuations due to supply chain disruptions and uncertainty surrounding energy resources. This instability has also led to disruptions in global payment systems, as international transactions become more complex and costly, further exacerbating economic tensions. As a result, there has been an increase in risk premiums across markets, with investors demanding higher returns to compensate for the heightened uncertainty. The banking sector has not been immune to these challenges, as financial institutions face growing exposure to Russian assets, which have become increasingly volatile in light of sanctions and geopolitical tensions. This exposure has contributed to a deterioration in credit quality, as the risk of default or devaluation of assets rises. Additionally, the financial sector is grappling with rising counterparty risks, as uncertainties around Russia's economic stability and potential sanctions create a more unpredictable environment for international banking relationships. The Japanese financial sector faces unique challenges, primarily related to its exposure to international markets and energy dependencies. The situation has prompted Japan to diversify its economic partnerships, with $10 billion contributed to Ukraine over 2 years. Japanese policymakers recognize the strategic importance of maintaining economic resilience. The government has pledged 8 billion yen, equivalent to $105 million, in new aid for Ukraine's reconstruction, demonstrating its commitment to international economic stability. The intricate web of international alliances shapes the potential dynamics of any Japan-Russia conflict. Current geopolitical tensions have prompted unprecedented shifts in diplomatic and military partnerships across the Indo-Pacific region. The US-Japan alliance is a cornerstone of Japan's defense strategy, underscored by the presence of around 55,000 US troops stationed at more than 80 bases across Japan. This long-standing partnership has undergone significant evolution in recent years. In 2022, Japan unveiled a new military strategy designed to strengthen its defense posture. A key aspect of this strategy involves a near doubling of military spending, reflecting Japan's commitment to enhancing its defense capabilities. The country is also focused on acquiring long-range counterstrike capabilities to bolster its deterrence ability. Additionally, Japan has initiated substantial reforms within its self-defense forces to improve their operational readiness and responsiveness to evolving security challenges in the region. Notably, the alliance has strengthened in response to regional challenges, primarily through joint military exercises. In 2023, the United States conducted military drills with Japan on Ishigaki Island. The partnership extends beyond bilateral cooperation, encompassing trilateral arrangements with other regional powers such as South Korea and the Philippines. China's position on the Japan-Russia territorial dispute has evolved, with Beijing adopting a careful and balanced stance. Chinese President Xi Jinping conveyed to Russian President Vladimir Putin that China would not take either side in the ongoing territorial dispute between Japan and Russia. This neutral position is indicative of China's strategy to maintain a delicate balance in regional politics, avoiding direct involvement in disputes that could complicate its relationships with either nation. The territorial conflict itself revolves around a group of islands, each with a different status. The island of Etorofu is under Russian control, while Kunashiri remains a disputed territory. Shikotan is administered by Russia, and the Habamai Islet group is also contested. These islands, located in the northern Pacific, are central to the ongoing tension between Japan and Russia, with each nation asserting sovereignty over them. China's measured stance allows it to avoid taking sides while still engaging with both countries on broader geopolitical matters. NATO's engagement in the Indo-Pacific has intensified, undoubtedly influenced by Russia's actions in Ukraine. Japan has strengthened its ties with NATO, participating in several summits, where the NATO Secretary-General described Japan as the alliance's closest ally. The alliance has shown its preparedness through several significant actions. It has activated defense plans that include the mobilization of 40,000 troops, ensuring a swift and robust response to potential threats. Additionally, the implementation of the Defense Investment Pledge has seen 18 allied nations meeting the target of dedicating 2% of their GDP to defense spending, underscoring their commitment to collective security. Furthermore, NATO's largest exercise since the Cold War, known as Steadfast Defender, was successfully carried out, involving 90,000 personnel and demonstrating the alliance's capacity for large-scale coordination and rapid deployment in the face of evolving security challenges. Whether NATO would directly engage in an Asia-Pacific conflict remains uncertain. However, the alliance has allocated over €500 million to enhance ammunition production. Straight away, following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Japan imposed economic sanctions on Moscow, leading to the suspension of peace treaty negotiations. The international response framework has been primarily shaped by Japan's policy decisions regarding Ukraine. Japanese leaders regularly observe that Ukraine today may be East Asia tomorrow. This perspective has influenced Japan's approach to regional security, ultimately leading to increased defense spending from 1% to 2% of GDP and the acquisition of missiles capable of reaching targets inside China. The Japanese government has demonstrated its commitment through substantial financial support, contributing $10 billion to Ukraine over 2 years. Similarly, Japan has pledged an additional 8 billion yen, equivalent to $105 million, in aid for Ukraine's reconstruction efforts. Nuclear deterrence stands as a defining factor in the strategic balance between Russia and Japan, with profound implications for regional stability. The dynamics of nuclear deterrence have gained renewed attention amid global tensions and shifting security paradigms. Russia possesses the largest nuclear arsenal in the world, with an estimated total of 5,077 nuclear warheads, of which 1/8 are actively deployed. The country's strategic nuclear forces are structured to maximize deterrence and maintain a diverse array of delivery systems. These forces include 68 heavy bombers capable of carrying nuclear payloads, providing a versatile option for long-range strikes. Additionally, Russia maintains a fleet of 11 nuclear-powered ballistic submarines, which are vital for ensuring second strike capability and the survivability of its nuclear deterrent. Furthermore, the country operates 306 land-based intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBMs, serving as a key element of its nuclear triad and enabling rapid, large-scale retaliation if necessary. Russia's nuclear modernization program has achieved significant progress, with modern weapon systems now comprising 95% of its nuclear inventory. The Russian nuclear doctrine has evolved, ultimately bringing Belarus under its nuclear umbrella and establishing new parameters for nuclear weapon use. Japan's nuclear policy is deeply shaped by its unique history as the only country to have experienced atomic bombings. This history has led to a nuclear stance centered on 4 core principles. First, the Atomic Energy Basic Law of 1955 restricts the use of nuclear energy solely for peaceful purposes, reflecting Japan's commitment to ensuring that nuclear technology is not diverted for military applications. Second, Japan adheres to the 3 non-nuclear principles, which prohibit the development, possession, or introduction of nuclear weapons into the country. Additionally, Japan remains a strong supporter of the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, upholding international efforts to prevent the spread of nuclear arms. Lastly, Japan's security policy is heavily reliant on U.S. extended nuclear deterrence, which guarantees that the United States would come to Japan's defense with nuclear capabilities if necessary. At the same time, Japan faces mounting security challenges from nuclear-armed neighbors. China continues to expand its nuclear capabilities, with estimates suggesting an increase to 1,500 warheads by 2035. North Korea's recurrent nuclear and missile tests, combined with direct verbal threats, have necessitated civilian evacuations in Japan. The risk of nuclear escalation in a potential Japan-Russia conflict is influenced by some critical factors that have contributed to a more complex security environment. Strategic developments, such as Russia's suspension of its participation in the New START Treaty, have heightened tensions in the region. Additionally, Russia's ongoing development of advanced delivery systems, including hypersonic missiles, and the deployment of the S-500 missile defense system around Moscow have further intensified concerns over the potential for military escalation. On the other hand, Japan has made significant policy shifts that could influence the trajectory of the conflict. In December 2022, Japan released a new national security strategy, signaling a more proactive stance in its defense posture. The country has also committed to increasing defense spending to 2% of its GDP, which reflects its growing concern over regional security dynamics. Furthermore, Japan's development of counterstrike capabilities further underscores its intent to bolster its defense capabilities and deter potential threats. The growing debate in Japan about nuclear sharing has been intensified by Russia's actions in Ukraine. As a result, Japanese Prime Minister Kishida has established the International Group of Eminent Persons for a World Without Nuclear Weapons, IGEP, to engage in discussions about nuclear disarmament. The security relationship between Japan and the United States has influenced Tokyo's approach to nuclear deterrence. Japanese public opinion remains notably opposed to nuclear weapons acquisition, with a 2019 national survey indicating 75% support for ratifying the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. The strategic environment is further complicated by Russia's extensive modernization of its nuclear forces. The country is developing multiple new ICBM systems, including the RS-26 Rubezh Roadmobile ICBM, RS-28, Sarmat Heavy Liquid-Fueled ICBM, and the Yars-M, Osina RV, and Keda ICBMs. Japan's position reflects a delicate balance between maintaining credible deterrence and pursuing nuclear disarmament. The establishment of Japan's National Security Council in December 2013 marked a significant shift in its security policy approach. The Council has focused on strengthening deterrence while maintaining Japan's commitment to nuclear disarmament. The risk of escalation is particularly concerning given Russia's recent nuclear rhetoric and actions. The suspension of peace treaty negotiations between Japan and Russia has created additional uncertainty in bilateral relations. This situation is exacerbated by North Korea's aggressive posture, with its leader explicitly threatening to use nuclear force against South Korea. From the above information, do you think between Russia and Japan, which country has the advantage if an armed conflict occurs between them? Of course, we do not want any war or armed conflict to occur, so feel free to share your opinion in the comment section of the video. If you find this video useful, please click like. Thank you for watching the video.